A good Thursday afternoon to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. The large picture here, I want to call your attention to a fairly significant area of low pressure. You can see it in the 850 hectopascal thicknesses here. This upper level low is fairly intense, and it's also producing a frontal boundary that is capturing what we call an atmospheric river. This is working in and capturing subtropical air that's west and southwest of Hawaii, and then pulling it into mostly southern Oregon, northern California, and eventually further off to the south around northern and central California. There could be some significant rainfall with this. Meanwhile, any little wiggles in the jet stream rolls over the top of this ridge and then dives down and produces another area of low pressure, and that's what we're seeing here to the west, located over Lake Michigan, or Michigan proper, and this is the system that's going to roll through tonight. We have a lead system, a warm front. This is working through right now and producing some rain shower activity. Those rain showers will probably come to an end, but not probably until around 4 o'clock up in the northern tier regions. Southern parts of Vermont are already starting to see some breaks of sunshine, and we have warmer temperatures that are going to shoot northward. We could see temperatures maybe hitting around the 60-degree mark, but probably holding more like in the 50s up to the northern regions there. Temperature components, as you can see here, it's relatively warm and along the east coast, but this upper level trough is erasing that, and we're looking at some pretty chilly temperatures. In fact, you can see where the flow is coming in out of parts of western Canada. This is going to cool us off just a bit. Let's take a look at the incremental model. So this is valid this morning, Thursday morning. We have a warm front that's kind of lifting on through, and it basically lifts into Canada, gives us a little bit of a lull this evening, and then during the overnight period we have the main band, a cold front that's going to introduce colder air. It also produces a round of showers. Nothing real significant there, but probably the heavy showers we're going to see the entire period here, as we're going to be below normal in rainfall. That precipitation associated with that 10,007 hectopascal surface low that's going to work into the Canadian Maritimes and pull away, and that eventually dries us out during the last part of the last half of the day on Friday. We might even see some incremental sunshine there as conditions begin to improve, but overall we're still being affected by the series of areas of low pressure up to the north of the Great Lakes. This is also bringing colder air, and that's what these blue lines are showing here. This is a significant at 850 hectopascal, pretty high aloft, but enough that it would probably indicate some wet snowflake action in our local mountains, the timing of which looks like we're not going to see any real precipitation, so the indications are not really a lot to worry about. A little bit east downwind of Lake Ontario, just about due west to east, and this is cold enough to see a little bit of wet snow, but we're not going to see a lot of that make it into Vermont. That's the interesting part of that so far. Now, by the time we get into Sunday night, that moves on out, and conditions begin to improve, and as this area of higher pressure at 1031 hectopascal will be the controlling influence, it'll kind of slide to the south and east, and as it does, it'll strengthen just a little bit. We have another weather system here, a lot of jet stream energy coming in from these weather systems out west, the Rockies and the west coast, and this is a significant piece of jet stream energy breaks off and develops an area of low pressure that then forms to the west of us and southwest of us, area of higher pressure now in the Canadian Maritimes. And what's going to end up happening, we're going to see a tighter pressure gradient. Now this is Wednesday, so already we're just a little bit beyond the period, but that area of higher pressure after a couple of days, it looks like Monday and Tuesday being dry, fair weather, although a lot of cloud cover streaming into the region, we start to see the makings of something begin to push in. You can see that here, and this is valid about Friday into the day on Saturday, and that would be a significant wind event. And indeed, we're starting to see some of the models showing some strong winds downsloping along the western slopes of the Green Mountains. This would be a southeasterly wind, and with an area of higher pressure that's relatively strong, a surface area of low pressure at 981, this might be overdone. This is a long ways out, pretty much as far as it goes for the European, but that pressure gradient could tighten up. Right now it's all speculation, but this is way around the corner for not this weekend, but the following weekend. Looking at the 3-hourly QPF of the GFS Ensemble, it's still available for us users. Not a whole lot to show for it, and even the accumulated precipitation is not a big deal. Let me see if I can pull that off here again. There we go. And you can see that it's just under 1 inch amounts all the way through the entire length of the period here. And the blue line is the last model run, so indicating probably 25 hundredths, 3/10 of an inch, not a big deal. And that's for the entire period of the next several days. Now, I talked about that atmospheric river indicated for the West Coast, and these are the kind of ground zero areas for Northern California to really receive decent amounts of precipitation and put out any wildfires there and really soak things up. So the Sierra gets some snow, a lot of snow in the interior west as well, and coastal areas get a ton of rainfall, and that's really good news for them. A lot of that jet stream energy really not making it here this period, just a little bit here. And you can see for Vermont, we're looking at less than 1/100th of an inch to the east there. Or, I'm sorry, that's 25 hundredths of an inch, and then about 1/2 an inch. So between 25 hundredths of an inch and about 1/2 inch. That's about it for the entire 7-day period. We are above normal in temperature, and indeed that's what it's looking like. This is the cooler air that's going to drop in. It's really not that significantly cold, as you can see. So 2-meter temperature centered on Montpelier. You can see the 2 warmest days today, and then a little bit of a downtick, and then a pretty significant cold front. And that's going to lower these high temperatures considerably. And at night, we get close to frosty levels pretty much the next several nights. That's a 2-meter dew point temperature is looking at 850 hectopascal temperature, about roughly the top of Mount Mansfield. This is the 0-degree isotherm, so temperature is at 850 millibars, hectopascals there. Do go below the freezing mark, and there's going to be this period there. And looking at precipitation, this is definitely showing up as well, where we're going to see just a tiny bit. Precipitable water looks like this, so around 1 inch, not a big deal, well within thresholds, and then we kind of dry things out with a source of moisture coming in from Canada, and really not a whole lot to deal with there for precipitable water once that major front moves by during Friday morning. So Moss temperatures this period, this is the next 5 days of higher temperatures. You can see showing relatively neutral to a little bit below normal, a little bit above normal to the east of us. And 3 days later, we're still sitting there close to neutral as the rest of the country warms up a little bit. This is that colder weather moving into the west coast. And we have no tropical cyclone activity to worry about, and that would include the next 5 days or so. Even the Weather Nerds tropical cyclone of the European model ensemble shows in just a little bit off the coast of Mexico, and that's going to be about it. Nothing in the Atlantic to worry about. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.